So let me start. Okay. So today we are going to discuss a new topic, which is sequential circuit. Okay. So this is an entirely new topic. So far, what we have discussed about, that is, we have started with the gates, which were small scale integration chip. Then we move forward for MSI chip, and in the MSI chip, mostly what we have discussed about, that is the combinational circuit. That means whatever the present input combinations are there, according to that outputs are generated. So these are actually called the combinational circuit. So that means output is only dependent upon the present values of inputs. Okay. Now in the same MSI part, we are having some other types of chips also, like the sequential circuit. Okay. Now sequential circuit, as the name suggests, it is working with a sequence. Now sequence is mainly in form of time. But we generally think that sequential work means with respect to time the work is going on. So similarly, in case of sequential circuit also, there will be a timeline. Now how to make that one, or it is actually how to keep a record of time. That means what is right now, what is going on, that is past on the very next instant. Right now what is that means the last day, yesterday, what I have taken the class, that is right now past, right? So in order to get back to that particular class, I need to go for the recording, right? What was recorded yesterday. Now recording obviously something which has been stored somewhere. So that means for getting past uh, event, we require some sort of memory. Obviously, in order to remember our past history, we require memory. Until unless there is any memory, we cannot recall our past event. So that is why all the sequential circuit, as it is related to some time varying event, right? What is going on present state, what is going on, what would be going on in my future, and what has happened in my past. So it requires some timeline as well as it requires some sort of memory. So sequential circuit have got, obviously it is related to some combinational part. So combinational circuit, along with combinational circuit, if there is any memory, there exists some memory, so then it becomes a sequential circuit. So combinational circuit will be obviously having some set of inputs, right? That we know that for combinational circuit, obviously there will be some input, and obviously as per the circuit that will be generating some sort of output, right? So that will be generating the output. That output we are feeding back in some unit called a memory, and that memory is actually again providing the necessary input for the next state. So that means a sequential circuit not only depends upon the present value of input, but also it depends upon the past event or past history. So it is dependent upon the present value of input, present inputs, as well as past history. Past history means that what was given earlier as an input, what was generated at the output, all are belonging to past history. Okay, all are belonging to past history. So this is something like sequential circuit, and that is the basic difference between a sequential circuit and a combinational circuit. Okay. Now, in this part, we'll be discussing about mostly the sequential circuit, and for that, initially, what we have to do, we have to know about how the basic memory, because the combinational circuit we have learned a little bit. So, for getting this in-depth knowledge of sequential circuit, first of all, we need to know about how to make a memory and an electronic memory. Now, memory can be built with various types of circuits. It can be entirely combinational. It can be sequential also. So right now we are starting with the sequential memory part, and then we will be moving for finally we will be moving for the combinational memory also. Okay, so that combinational circuit directly will be used as a memory or as a storage device. So let us start with about a very basic memory cell. Okay, basic memory cell. What is that? Suppose we have got one inverter like this, another inverter like this. Two inverters are there. These are actually cross coupled. Two inverters cross coupled with each other. Okay. No input, no extra input is given. So only you are connecting the circuit like this. So then what will happen? Okay, any guess? Just you have got something like 7404 IC. Suppose like this 7404 IC is there. So 7404 IC, there exists a lot of inverters. So let we have this inverter first, 1, 2, then 3, 4. Two inverters I am using. Rest of the inverters I am not using. So let this output be its input, and let this output be its input. And you have got some biasing, ground, and VDD 7404. Okay. So what will happen? Any guess? Any guess? If you just connect one LED right over here and another LED right over here, what will happen? Any guess? Both will be 1 or both will be 0, or one particular inverter will be 1, another inverter will be 0. Anything? Nothing. No guess. Fine. Okay. Actually, what happens in this particular case, if you try to make this one physically, may not be possible for your simulation, because simulation is not working upon this this particular theory. So if you physically connect 17404 IC in this configuration, what actually happens there? There are two inverters. These two inverters are not same at all. Make sure about this one. Likely our thumb impressions are not same of two individuals. Similarly, two electronic device can't be same entirely. Though it's many parameters can be same, but still few parameters can't be same. It's like that, you know, if you just bring 1 kilo of rice from two different shops, the same quality rice you have got from both the shops, still you'll be finding out you cannot have the same number of rice on that 1 kilo of rice, right? It can't be. Never. It can't be. It can't happen, right? Because those are uncountable numbers. So they're obviously, maybe you'll be getting that both are actually providing 1 kilo of rice, maybe suddenly you will be finding out the number of rices on those 2 packets are becoming different. But still the rice qualities are same, even if the weights are same. So as of that, many parameters can be same, but still few parameters will be different, and that's due to the manufacturing. Obviously these inverters are made up with semiconducting devices, likely maybe with the help of transistors. Transistors are built up with p-type and n-type semiconductors. Now p-type and n-type semiconductors have got some doping, so they are doping. Even if you are making the same doping, you cannot say within the same size or same area of particular n-type material or p-type material, there exist same number of carriers. No, you cannot say that one. So maybe in one particular n-type material, you will be having some amount of electrons which is little bit greater than the adjacent n-type material. Okay. It will happen. It's like same like your 1 kilo of rice. Same concept. So obviously these two inverters similarly can't be same, and that is not for these two inverters only. You bring any two device, even if their specifications are all same, all shown same as it is, they won't be same at all. They won't be entirely identical. So that is the reason that one of the inverter will be having less propagation delay compared to other one. That means one will work little bit faster compared to the other one. So that means maybe this inverter is working little bit faster. Maybe this one is inverter 1, this is inverter 2, suppose. So this particular NOT gate or inverter is working little bit faster compared to this particular NOT gate. As a result, what will happen? So initially all these outputs are 0, because just you have started, all will be 0 or something like that. So then both are actually experiencing 0 at their inputs, and both are trying to make the output 1. Both are trying. But as this particular inverter is little bit faster, so it will act little bit earlier than this lower inverter. Okay. And the output will become obviously 1 faster compared to this. As it is becoming 1, now this one, the input has been changed, right? So it is before it produces 1, it is finding out, okay, my input has been changed, so it will again try to change its output, and it will be making 0, right? Once it is making 0, then this 0 is following up and this one is coming. That means now you are having a fixed output. Okay, and this output is fixed. That means until unless you are forcing that one to be erased, it will remain as it is. That means if you still off the output or off that particular this particular IC, again you make it on, same thing will happen, right? Because always this inverter is working a little bit faster, right? But it's not true for every case. It's not every time you can say, okay, my inverter 1 is working faster than inverter 2, because maybe in some other, maybe with some other 7404, inverter 1 is working slower than inverter 2, because you don't know what's the difference, right? Identically, or ideally it should be same, and as per specifications also these two inverters are same, right? So you cannot say or you cannot determine which one is working a little bit faster than other one. Accordingly, if this inverter 2 is working a little bit faster, then this will produce output 1, and that output 1 will be keeping or will be holding this output 0. So that means that time this lower hand will be 1, the upper hand will be 0. But again, it will be remaining as it is. Okay. So that means somehow we are making one particular uh, output stable. One output, we are making it stable. Okay. But we don't know what particular output would be that. So that means somehow we have managed to store a bit at this particular point. That may be 0 or maybe 1. But somehow we have managed to store one bit with respect to time that is being okay. It's all right that we are keeping it as it is, same, right? So that is something, the first thing or first basic memory cell. Now, obviously, as you can understand that there is a lot of problem. There are a lot of problems that there is no input provision. You cannot input anything right over in this circuit. Even if we are not sure that which particular bit will be stored. And if we think of only this output, only this one output, because you can say this is the main output and this is its inverted output. You can say this one. This is the primary output and it is its inverted output, because it is 1, so it is its inversion output 0. So if you are taking this one as primary output, you are not sure that whether primary output would be 1 or whether the primary output would be 0. Okay, if the upper hand output is primary output, that can be 0, that can be 1 for different types of 7404 IC, that can be either 0 or that can be either 1. So that means that there you cannot predict what the exact value it is storing. Okay. So that is why these two, in order to reduce these two problem, let we try to make little bit update. Let we try to update that one. Instead of simple NOT gate, we can introduce NAND gate or NOR gate. Same as it is, right? Initially, you can keep it like this. The same thing, that NOT gates are now replaced by NAND gate. Okay, the same thing will happen, right? Or else you can also make it with the help of NOR gate also. The same LR, only this NAND gates can be replaced by NOR. Same problems are still existing because two NAND gates can't be identical again. So now let we at least try to make one change in that. Let instead of both the inputs being shorted for this second configuration NAND, let we try to provide this thing. That means one NAND gate, another NAND gate. Okay, these two are cross coupled. These two are cross coupled, and the other input we are providing from the user. So that is input 1 and input 2. Let me provide this one. And let we have this one as output 1. This is maybe output 2. So for NAND gate, we know for a NAND gate, if A, B both are the inputs and Y is the output, then 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So it is actually 1, 1, 1, 0. This is the truth table of an AND gate, NAND gate actually, of a NAND gate. So we can use that one in order to realize this thing. Okay, in order to realize this, now the point is, okay, you can first initially put here 0 and 0. Fine. So whenever you are providing 0 and 0, make sure that what would be output can't be determined until unless you cannot predict that what was my previous output. What was my previous output 2? Until unless you know this thing, you cannot get this current output or present output, right? So that means now it comes something history. That means what was going on there earlier, what is now going on, and what would be there finally. So something this history is coming right now, right? So let we assume that initially output 1 was 0, so output 2 was 1. Just for assumption, we are taking this one. So this 1 is coming right back, this one, and this 0 is coming right back here. So what will happen? So this 0 and 0, this 0 and 0 will make or will keep this output as it is 1. So this will be kept as it is 1. Fine. And this 1 and 0, this 1 and 0 will change it to 1. Right. So just this will be going on. Both becomes 1 and 1. Now this is keeping as it is, right? Fine. No problem. 1 was there, 1 is going on, fine. So this one is again getting back, but it is actually changed to 1. Now if it is 1, so now this one is coming back again as an input. So instead of 0, now I am having 1, right? And this 1 and 0 will again keep this one as it is as 1. Right? 1 and 0 will make it as it is as 1. And this 1 is coming back again. 0 and 1 will keep it as it is as 1. So that means this is the stable state output, right? Both are becoming 1 and 1. So that means if we write down this one as a truth table, input 1, input 2, and let we have output 1 and output 2. So for 0 0 input, let I write down this one as 1 and 1. Now hopefully you are thinking of that why I have taken this one initially as 0, this one initially as 1. Instead of that, I can obviously use something different. That means maybe I can use this one initially as 1. I can use initially this one as 1, and I can use initially this one as 0. Right. So if this one is 1, this one is 0, then what will happen? Again the same thing, that this 1 is generating 1 right over here. This 0 is generating 0 right over here. Fine. So 0 and 0, anything you can initially count. 0 and 0 will make it 1 as it is. This 1 and 0 is making or changing this one to 1. Now once this is changing to 1, this one is again coming back here and will make 1 as it is. So 1 and 1 is the final stage. Okay. Or for simplicity, you can think of like this also. It's a bilateral network. So if you just think of like this, if you just get one line, so the upper part and lower part are remaining same. So irrespective of if it is 1 and 0, if it ultimately it is storing 1 1. So for 0 and 1, it will be also storing 1 1 finally as it is, because just you flip it, everything will be same, right? It's a bilateral kind of thing. Okay. So that means if we are providing 0 0, we are getting 1 1. Now you may think of why we are just assuming output 1 as 0, output 2 as 1. That is the inverted output, right? Why we are assuming? Why not we are assuming that output 1 should be 0 and output 2 should be also 0? Because it's not at all the definition of a basic cell. A basic cell denotes that the output, one output should be inverted version of the other one. So that is why we are assuming that okay, two outputs should be inverted with each other, and then we are actually working over that. But in this case we are finding out okay, 0 0 what is there is generating output both 1 and 1. Okay. Now let we consider the other case. Is there any question for 0 0 condition? Any query for 0 0 condition? No query. Okay, so let we have the other case, that is input 1 is 0, input 2 is 1. So these two. Again, in same way, I need to find out that let we assume initially this is 0, this is 1, and try to find out what will happen. So this 0 is coming right here. Okay. 0 is coming back. So 1 and 0. 1 and 0 will keep this one as it is as 1. This 1 is coming back. 0 and 1 will make it to 1. Right? Fine. Now again this 1 is coming back. Change it to 1. Now 1 and 1. Now 1 and 1 is making the output 0. Right? This 0 is again changing this output, this input right over here. This 0. 0 and 0 again keeping the output 1. Now 1 is coming back. 1 and 1, 0 as it is. 0 is here. 0 and 0, 1 as it is. So this is the final stable state output, 1 and 0. So that means output 1 is 1, output 1 is 1, and output 2 is 0. I have started by assuming output 1 as 0. So this was my condition, right? Now instead of that, maybe output 1 was initially 1, because I have taken that one earlier 0. Now let we assume that one as 1, and let we assume this one as 0. That means output 2 is 0 now. So what will happen? So this 1 is coming back, fine. This 0 is coming back. 0 and 0 will keep 1 as it is. Okay. So this 1 and 1 will make 1. It should be changed to 1. Now this one is coming back. This one is coming back. Right? So 1 and 0. না কিছু একটা ভুল করেছি, দাঁড়াও, just a minute. Okay, so initially it was 1, it was 0, fine. So this 0 is coming here, this 1 is coming here. Okay, so so this 1 and 1 is making 0 actually. 1 and 1 is making 0, and then 0 0 is making it 1. Fine. Now this one is coming back. Fine. This one is coming back. 1 and 1, still it is 0. This 0 is coming back. 0 and 0, still it is 1. So that means 1 to 0. Output 1 is still at 1. Output 2 is still at 0. Okay. So irrespective of my previous state output, if I am providing an input 1, 0 and input 2 as 1, my output 1 is having 1 value and output 2 is having 0 value. Let we come to the other one, 1 0, right? So if it is 1 0, I am not going to calculate what would be the output, because from the bilateral concept we can easily understand that if this is 1, sorry, this is 0 and this is 1, if this is 0, this is 1, is making output this one 1, this one 0, right? So just flip this one, just flip like this. Okay, what will happen? Same thing will happen. That means this 1 will come downward, this 0 will go upward, this 1 is going upward, this 0 is coming downward, likely. So if it is 1 0, I can directly write down. If you would like to calculate, you can calculate obviously, but I can directly, from the bilateral point of view, I can directly write down this one. Output 1 should be 0 and output 2 should be 1, right? Irrespective of my previous state, I can say this one like this. Now, last one. Let we have both the inputs as 1 1. Let we have both the inputs as 1 1. That means this one. Both the inputs are 1 1. If both the inputs are 1 and 1, again the same thing. Let we assume earlier it was 0, earlier it was 1. Fine. So what will happen? 0 here, 1 here. Fine. So 1 and 1. 1 and 1 will make it 0. Right. 0 and 1 will make it 1. Right. Now it is stable. Fine. So if earlier it was 0, then also it is keeping 0. If earlier it was 1, it is keeping 1. Opposite, let we think the opposite case. That means earlier it was 1, earlier it was 0. Just the opposite. Okay. Same thing. Let we consider here as this one as 1, this one coming back here 0. So 1 and 0 will keep the same value 1. 0 will be kept as 0 as it is. So that means whatever the earlier value, that is being kept. So we can write it down as previous state. We can write down this one as previous state. Now, one problem is there. That is initially, first one, what I have seen, that is whenever we are providing 0 0, we are getting the output both are becoming 1 1. Now, as per the basic memory cell, we know there are two outputs, but the outputs are complementary output. That means one is the inverted output of other one, like inverted version of other one. But in this case, when 0 0 we are providing, in this case we are finding out that both the outputs are becoming 1 1. So that is, we can say it's an undefined output, not as per defined definition. So it is undefined output or undefined case or undefined state. Not only that, now the point is, again, most important point, that there is whatever you are providing the input, this input are generally given by user, or it is actually provided manually. Now, if it is provided manually with respect to switch, it is quite impossible that at the very same instant, or the at a particular instant, both the switches are just making it on, right? It is quite impossible. So one can be, suppose this input is little bit working little bit earlier compared to the other one, suppose. So if something is, such kind of thing is happening, then maybe it will not work as it is, right? Because that time it will take some other output and accordingly it will work. So the main job is not yet done, because whatever we are thinking, that we are thinking, okay, my inputs are stable, we have given this both the inputs in the same time, and the entirely the circuit is working at a particular time. There is no earlier job, there is no late job, nothing is going on. It is as it is, perfectly it is working, but it is not perfect in practical case. So that means in practical case we should have some sort of control over that particular input, so that the input should be given at a fixed time, and that should be given with an extra line called a enable line. Once the enable line is high, then okay, both the inputs are accessible. So something, in order to go for in order to synchronize both these switches, I require an extra line called an enable line, because otherwise maybe this switch has started little bit earlier compared to this switch, as this is connected little bit earlier. So this will start working, and as you can see that at a very small instant on time, the outputs are getting changed, right? So it will not solve the purpose, and it was actually not problematic in case of simple combinational circuit, but in case of such cross coupled inverter circuit, it is quite significant. Because of that, the present state as well as the previous output, both are actually working in order to generate my next output, right? So accordingly, we should have some synchronization of the process, right? So in order to synchronize this thing, we are introducing little bit more within that basic cell, and that one we say it's called latch. Okay, so that one is called a latch, where such synchronization process can be started, or we are having an enable line. Now on that same circuit, how to introduce one extra enable line? So let me first draw the same circuit. I am drawing with NAND gate. It can be also made with NOR gates also. But right now, if you can understand the NAND gate based circuit, hopefully you can get it for NOR gate also. So this was my circuit earlier. I am just introducing one another NAND gate right over here. Another set of NAND gate. And one of the input of that NAND gate, I am providing the name as enable line E. Rest everything is same. Input 1, input 2, output 1, output 2. Now input 1 and enable line. Now enable line can be either 0 or 1. Fine. If it is 0, suppose it is 0. Let you consider first initially, let it be 0. Now what's the interesting thing is happening? If it is 0, one of the input of the NAND gate is 0, then output becomes 1, that we know, right? So both the output become 1, right? And if both the outputs are becoming 1, irrespective of input 1 and input 2, what will happen? That means whether you are providing input 1, you are not providing input 2, nothing will happen right over here because already the enable line is 0. That means these two lines are not at all dependent upon input 1 and input 2 right now. If the enable line is 0, if the enable line is 0, these two lines are independent of input 1 and input 2. Whatever be the condition of input 1 and input 2, nothing will happen. And what the rest part? You are having two 1 1 input, and this 1 1 input, as you know, in this particular circuit, if you are having 1 1 input, it will hold the previous state continuous. That means whatever be my previous output, that is holding. That means nothing new thing going on. No further new operations are going on. Right? So it will be holding as it is the previous, whatever the previous value was there, that will be holding. Okay. So in order to make this latch working, I require this enable line to be 1. I require this line to be 1. Okay. Now if it is 1, one of the input is 1. One of the input is 1, this enable line. What will happen at the output of these two first NAND gates? We know from the NAND gate truth table, if you just go for the NAND gate truth table, if one of the input is 1, suppose like this, one of the input is 1, then the other input is inverted at the output, right? Here also you can see, if one of the input is 1, the other input is inverted at the output. Okay, so here also we can say directly that if the enable line is 1, so here actually what will be experiencing input 1 complement and input 2 complement, right? So if you are providing 0 0, here you will be getting 1 1. If you are providing 0 1, here you will be getting 1 0, and so on. Just simple as like that. But the benefit what we have found that when only the enable line is high, then only both the inputs have got influence over this line. So what you can do easily, that you just switch on the input 1 and input 2 by keeping enable line 0 initially. Keep the enable line 0. Make input 1 and input 2 as per your choice. Maybe 0 1 or 0 0 or 1 0, whatever, as per your choice. Now make your enable line on. Now once you are making the enable line on, suddenly both the inputs will come at the output as complemented. And the same time they will reach, almost the same time, right? So this is actually the benefit of enable line what we are introducing. Now as simple as that, we are having this configuration as like input 1 bar, input 2 bar, right? So what we can write down from this point of view, I am writing down this one as input 1, input 2. I am also writing down input 1 complement, input 2 complement, and finally I am writing down output 1, output 2. Okay. So obviously same way you can put 0 1 1 0 1 1. You can put as it is like this. Okay. So input 1 complement would be 1. This would be 1. This would be 1. This would be 0. This would be 0. This would be 1. This would be 0. This would be 0. Right. So now what you are having in your hand, this one is right at this case, these 2 points, right? Input 1 bar, input 2 bar. From the earlier truth table, you can easily write down now 1 1 from the earlier truth table. 1 1 denotes the next outputs will be previous state. So I can write down this one as it will be obeying the or following the previous state output. previous state output. Okay. If it is 1 0, then what will happen? 0 1, right? So I'll be writing down here 0 1, right? Then it is 0 1, output is 1 0, right? So I'm providing here 0 1, so output is 1 0. And lastly 0 0 means output should be 1 1. Okay. That means if you just now, if you neglect or just omit this intermediate part and write down it separately, right below, input 1, input 2, along with output 1, output 2. Rightly, just I'm writing down the same thing again. So for 0 0, it will hold the previous state. For 0 1, it would be 0 1. For 1 0, it would be 1 0. For 1 1, it is 1 1, which is undefined still. So I can write down undefined. Okay. Now, seems to be that one of the problem has been removed. What problem? The problem of introducing the input in same time has been removed now. That is initially where we have started. So we have started with first there was no input provision. Now we provided the input provisions are there. We found another problem there, that as per the timing of when to introduce the input or the synchronization between two inputs, how to make that one. So for that, again, we are going for this issue. We are providing another enable line in order to get our synchronized input. Now, one of the problem still is there, which is that undefined state. It is not yet solved. That means 3 cases I have in my hand, which is usable. Usable means that can be used in order to store single bit. Now we are, as I have started with that, this upper end output 1, we can say it's a primary output, and this is the inverted output of this primary output. So generally this primary output is written as Q, and the secondary output, instead of output 2, it is denoted by Q complement or Q bar. Okay. Now obviously Q is dependent upon the time. Okay. So time is a sequence, you can say. So time sequence, you can say like this, that at nth time sequence, the output is Qn. And for nth time sequence, the output is Qn bar, this output. Okay, one is the primary output, another is the complementary output. So we can say this, or entirely this particular circuit is now being able to store 1 bit data. It can store 1 bit data, and we can store as we wish. Amra jamon chaichi. We can store here 0, we can store here 1 also. If we want to store 0, right here, irrespective of whatever the previous output was there, I want to store 0 at my primary Qn. So let output 1 be changed as Qn and output 2 let it be changed as Qn bar. Okay. So if I have to store 0 at output Qn, I need to provide input 1 as 0 and input 2 as 1. Okay. I need to provide input 1 as 0 and input 2 as 1. Generally, getting output 0 or making the output 0, this output I would like to store here 0. 0 means something, nothing is there, right? So what we say generally, this one as reset operation or clearing operation, we can say the output is cleared. Whatever my previous stage, whether the output was 1, whether the output was 0, it do not matter right now. I have cleared the output or I have resetted the output. That is done by means of the input provisions as input 1 as 0, input 2 as 1. This is why input 2 is called reset pin, where I have provided 1 and by providing 1 I am getting Qn 0. It is called reset. Similarly, if I have to get here 1, I need to provide this option because this is actually providing Qn as 1. Irrespective of whatever the output previously was there, now my output become 1, right? And how to do that one? By providing input 1 as 1, input 2 as 0. So it is actually called a set operation. This is actually called a reset operation. And this is actually called set operation. So by which I can get set operation by providing input 1 as 1. Mainly I'm talking about 1 actually. So by providing input 1 as 1, I can get a set operation. So that is why input 1 is called set input. Or in simple sense, I generally say this input 1 is denoted by S. S denotes the set. And the input 2 is denoted by R, called reset. And this particular latch is called SR latch. Set reset latch, SR latch. Okay. So these are the main operation of a latch, of a set reset latch. So there are mainly 3 operations. One is nothing is going on. It is holding its previous state. What you need to do? You put both the input as 0, 0. You provide 0, 0 at the input. It will retain its previous value. Previous value what? Previous value, you can say previous state as Qn minus 1. And this would be retaining Qn minus 1 bar. Because the previous state is denoted by Qn minus 1. Okay, so the states are something like this: Qn minus 1 followed by Qn followed by Qn plus 1 and so on, right? Qn plus 2 and so on. So the states, these are the states. Okay, timing states you can say. Present state, next state, past state, okay, and so on. And what is present state right now? That will be past state for Qn plus 1. So if you are writing Qn plus 1, make sure its past is Qn. If you are writing Qn, its past is Qn minus 1, something like this. So if you are writing at the output Qn, make sure that previous state is denoted by Qn minus 1. Okay. And if you are writing down this one as Qn plus 1, make sure that previous state is denoted by Qn. Okay. So one of the operation I can perform, that is by providing 0 0, I can hold my previous state. That is one of the valid operation. It can be performed. We can also perform some reset operation. Irrespective of whatever my previous state output, I would like to reset my output. That means I would like to store Qn as 0. Obviously, complement of Qn will be 1. So this is actually your reset operation. Okay. So that is set of previous state holding, then reset operation, and finally we are having the set operation. That means my output Qn is set to 1. I am setting it to 1, and that is why these two are actually mostly important state of operation for any latch. That is, either you need to set or you need to reset. Now you can see that okay, we are now being able to store one of the data, one of the bit. Either we can store 1 or we can store 0. Seems to be that okay, fine, it's all right. But again, okay, so before we move for the next part, before we go for the problem, any query up to this? Any query for this section? Okay, no query. Fine. Now, now seems to be that it is from the truth table, this particular truth table, that there are 3 usable state or 3 usable inputs. One, this state is providing undefined output. That means the output is not as per the definition of basic memory cell. Because in the basic memory cell we have learned so far, that is both the outputs should be complementary to each other. We have started from that. So that is why this state is not usable. This state is not usable. So though you are having 2 input, one is set input, one of it is reset input, still it seems to be that with 2 input we can have 4 combinations, but here we are finding out 3 combinations can be useful. 4th combination is not useful at all. So once the 4th combination is not useful, there still exists some sort of problem. The problem will be same if you are using NOR based circuit also. So just instead of NAND, the same circuit, the same NAND based circuit can be replaced by NOR also. Okay, so you can just move towards a NOR based circuit also. You can move for that one. Just let me draw a NOR based circuit and check it out whether how it's working. The same thing. In many books you can find out the NOR based circuit also. So this is the same enable line. I am providing input 1 and input 2. Then it is output 1, output 2. Okay. So now this time NOR gate. It's actually your AB. Suppose NOR gate truth table 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Fine. So for NOR gate we know that this 3 will become 0. This is 1. This is for the NOR gate truth table. So that means if we have one of the input is 1, if one of the input is 1, then the output becomes 0, right? So just the opposite case, if enable line is 0 now, the output becomes, sorry, if the enable line is 1, if the enable line is 1, if the enable line is 1, the output becomes 0, 0, right, for this case, right? So that means it will not dependent upon input 1 and input 2, right? And if it is not dependent upon input 1 and input 2, rest, it will be only dependent upon these two lines, because these two lines are 0, 0. That means whatever the line, this one, that means if this one of the input is 0, other input is getting inverted, right? Same, almost same like your NAND gate operation, right? So if these two inputs are 0, 0, whatever the output, if the output is 0, if the output is 1, so this just only get inverted. 0 will be inverted to 1 and 1 will be inverted to 0, something like this. So as it is, it will be returning the same value. So that means in this case, enable line 1 will not work. Enable line 1 will not work, and for that, for such operation, we need to provide enable line as 0. Make sure for NOR based operation, we need to keep our enable line as 0. Okay. And if one of the enable line, this enable line is 0, then again the same thing will happen. Input 1 will come as input 1 bar. Input 2 here will come as input 2 bar. Right? Fine. Now you may just go as it is. Likely the calculation we have made in case of this NAND based circuit, you can assume one of the output and then you can print. Just making it like this. Let we have same thing. Input 1, input 2. So input 1 complement, input 2 complement, going for output 1, output 2. Okay. So this is 1, 1. This is your 1, 0. This is 0, 1. This is 0, 0. Okay. Now, if both are 1, 1, that means in this particular two NAND gates, NOR gates, both the one of the input is 1. And if one of the input is 1, both the output will try to become 0, right? Obviously, একটা যদি 1 হয়ে যায়, both the output will try to become 0. If both the output is trying to become 0, both the output, then it will be making that it is undefined, right? So it is providing undefined output. Similarly, for 0, 1, that means here input 1 is coming as 1. Here it is coming as 1. Here it is coming as 0. Fine. Now you have to assume that, okay, my output previously was 0. My output previously was 1. So this 1 and 1, 1 and 1 will make it 0. This 0 and 0 will make it 1, right? So that means now we are having this one like this. So if my input is 0, so this is 1, this is 1, so 1 and 1 is making 0, so this is output would be 0 and 1, right? Similarly, you can say this one is 1 and 0, right? And last one, if both are 1, 1, if both are 1, 1, that means here both are coming as 0, 0. If both are coming as 0, 0, then whatever be my previous output, it will return as it is, right? Okay. So for 1 case, we are having my previous state. So even if here also, again now the same thing, you can change the input names as set reset. So this time you can provide this one as this thing, you can write down this one as R, this is as S, this is also your particular output as Qn, you can write down this one as Qn bar. Why instead of this we are writing down, মানে previously 1 গুলো নিয়ে কাজ করছিলাম, এখানে 0 নিয়ে, because enable line is 0 and it is enabling it, so 0 is actually the enabling force. So that is why generally it's called RS flip-flop. Okay, RS latch, sorry, not flip-flop, RS latch. It is actually called a RS latch. Okay. Now still we are finding out that whether it is NOR based or NAND based circuit, in both the cases we are having 3 states which are usable. 3 states which are usable. One state is undefined, not usable. Okay. Also one of the problem is there, that is the major problem is that enabling the line, again it requires a switch, it requires a switch, and that switch that is the latch. So this latch is an IC, you can say it's an IC, fine. So this is one SR latch, you can say SR latch having one enable line, having 2 outputs. So these are the 3 inputs. SR latch, 2 outputs are Qn, Qn bar. Again, if you would like to attach 2 latches, suppose this is the first latch, this is the second latch, latch 1, latch 2, and you do not want to make these 2 latches act in same time, that means if you would like to act them in same time, okay, you can just add this to enable line, it would work. একই সঙ্গে তুমি দুটো enable line কে টাচ করিয়ে দিলে it would work fine. But if it is not there, I would like to act SR latch first. This latch 1 should work first. This latch 2 will work after this. So that means we require 2 separate enable line. If 2 separate enable lines are there, then it is quite difficult to synchronize that one, because you are not having a common timing. It is quite difficult now again. Also, not only that, there is no such timing frame. That means how much time you should keep this enable line on, কতক্ষণ সময় ধরে তুমি অন করে রাখবে, it is also not it is not defined also, right? So you can switch it on for 10 minutes, or you can switch it on for 1 minute, it's not defined, right? So there must have something time frame also, there must have. So 2 problems still there. One is that that undefined problem, that undefined state that is not usable, though I have already stored one bit at the output. I can reset, I can set, both are possible, but still there exists 2 problems. That is, one of the input combination is not usable still, and another problem is that this synchronization between 2 latches, it becoming a little bit difficult, and that is not actually time framed, right? Because it's only enable line we are using, it's not a time framed thing. So we require something timing, exactly timing should be there. And for timing, instead of this particular latch with an enable line, we are replacing that latch enable line with a particular signal called a clock signal. We are replacing that one. So the same circuit we are having SR latch, same circuit we are converting that one into SR flip-flop. Flip-flop by changing the enable line only. Now, what that be change? What would be that change? That change would be, instead of simple enable line, we are introducing clock signal. We are introducing clock signal. Okay. What is that? A clock signal looks like this. Simple a pulse train kind of thing. We're introducing this kind of signal. 1 0 1 0 1 0 and so on. A pulse train having 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 like this. Continuously it is going on. Okay. So instead of enable line, we are introducing now a clock signal. Okay. What will happen? If you are having a clock signal in the circuit, you can say, this is my first clock, this is my second, this is my third, this is my fourth. So you can have a sequence of time which was not there in the enable line. It's not limited, right? So it was not defined. But here, instead of just a switching enable line, I am providing a pulse train, and where number of on states is countable. And as we know, for NAND gate based latch, if we have one at enable line, so simple, very simple, on that particular latch, the same SR, everything is remaining same, QN bar, everything is remaining same. Instead of that enable line, I am using here one clock pulse kind of thing. As a result, I can have a frame of time. This is the first stage, this is the second stage, this is the third stage, or state also you can say. First state, second state, third state. For all cases, during 1, the IC will work, the flip-flop will work. During 0, it will hold its own value or previous value. The same thing is going on, but with a proper sequence of time by introducing clock. So make sure that the latch and a flip-flop have got a basic difference, that latch is not having any clock signal. It is not having any proper timing sequence, whereas the flip-flop is having a clock signal. And that is why generally it is called a flip-flop. That means there is a clock signal by which you are flipping the output, right? And for a particular particular case, I can change the output looking like first 1, then 0, then again 1, then again 0. So I can flip flop, flip up, flip down. I can make it like that also. So that's why it is also called flip flop, not a latch, because I have got a definite time sequence, 1 0 1 0 kind of pattern. So that is one of the problem that can be reduced with flip flop. Make sure that flip-flop is having the everything same circuit like the latch, but it is SR flip-flop. It is SR flip-flop. So only the difference is that here we require a clock signal, and for clock value 1, likely for enable line 1, if NAND based latch is working, here NAND based SR flip-flop, for clock value 1 it will be working, for clock value 0 it will be not working. It's like that. For clock value 1 it's like enable value 1, for clock value 0 it's like that the enable value is 0, right? The same thing happens right over there. So one of the problem has been removed. Other problem I need to remove also. That means the fourth case I need to remove. Okay. We'll be discussing that one in our next class because it's already it's almost over. Any query for this part? Let me